I tell you, when I think about that, I cringe. Because it's not something that we have left behind. It's not something that we have let go of in this nation. I grew up, and I loved my grandfather. I just loved my grandfather. My grandfather was a bigot, you know. He was a bigot. And he said things that just made my stomach turn because of the generation that I was from. I was from this generation of kids who were brought up to believe or to think that everybody was created equal. Well, at least all white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. I lived in a country that, and I'm telling you, I'm studying history, right? I'm studying history. I'm studying the history of the Christianization of America, and it's incredible how white Anglo-Saxon Protestant all the rules were. Oh. But anyway, we all have lived in this life, and we have all said in this life that I have no prejudices. I'm not a bigot, but every single solitary one of us has at one point in our life held at arm's length someone like the Samaritan, someone who was different from us. We have held at arm's length someone who was either not the same able as we were, who was disabled, or we have held at arm's length somebody who was really fat, or somebody who was really skinny, or somebody who was really tall, or somebody who was really short. We have held them at arm's length. We have held at arm's length people of different colored skin. We have held at arm's length people who had red skin, people who had yellow skin, people who had black skin and brown skin and caramel skin. We have held at arm's length people who had eyes that were almond-shaped, people who had eyes that were round, people who were wide-eyed, and people who were pie-eyed. We have held at arm's length people who were so different from us. We have held at arm's length people who lived different lifestyles from us. We have held at arm's length people who we could not understand. We have held at arm's length people who didn't speak the same language. We have held at arm's length people who were Jews, people who were Muslims, people who were Roman Catholics, people who were Buddhists, people who were Hindus. We have held them at arm's length. We have not embraced them. They are different. They are not as equal as we are. Come on. And we have held at arm's length those persons whose lifestyle scares us and frightens us. And we have held at arm's length people who are gay. And we have held at arm's length people who are transgendered. And we have held at arm's length people who are bisexual. And we have held at arm's length male nurses. Come on. And we have held at arm's length clergy women because they didn't belong, they didn't fit the mold. They were different, and we have looked at them, and we looked at them oddly and askance, and yet, do we say to ourselves in our heart of hearts that we who are in Christ believe that there is no slave or free? There is nobody of color. There is nobody of different sexuality. There is no male. There is no female. We are all one. Think about that. Literally what Paul is saying. That there is no definition in those differences, but we are all one, absorbed into Christ. Equality in this world is something that has been fought for by many saints who have gone before us. There are those who have been prophets who have been stoned and who have been killed for speaking the word for equality. They have been pounced on and trounced on and they have been ignored, and they have been pounded, and they have been put in a place of being not the people we want to talk to or hear. We don't want to listen to them. And what I say to you today is that there are saints in your life, people who have tried to speak to you, to open your eyes to see the world differently, to look at the world from a different perspective. As I tried to help my grandfather not be such a bigot, to help us see beyond our fears, beyond our prejudices, beyond our bigotry, beyond our belief that we are more equal than the rest. Because, my friends, we are not. We are not. And you must say, for me to stand before God and brag about you someday, you must embrace what this really means. You must embrace what equality among humans means. It's not about control. It's not about power. It's about what it means to be one with one another, one in Christ. The other character in George Orwell's book, Snowball. Snowball. Anyway, the other character, Snowball, in George Orwell's book, is the one who encourages the farmyard animals, the one who encourages them to fulfill their potential, who believes in them, like Paul believes in the people of the church at Thessalonica, like I believe in you, to encourages them to fulfill their potential. And Snowball got run out of the barnyard by Napoleon. The prophets spoke. Jesus talked about what happened to the prophets and talked about how Jerusalem killed the prophets. Paul talked about those who were prophets, who tried to preach the word and tried to give the word to people who could not embrace it, could not hear it. I ask you today, please, see if you can hear what I'm saying. See what you can hear. See what you can see through your eyes. And look in the mirror that is that Orwellian saying, all humankind, all animals are created equal, but some are more equal than others. We need to leave behind that some are more equal than others notion of our righteousness and the righteousness that has been our claim for 230 years. How old are we? You know what I mean. That has been our claim. We must understand that it is not our mission, it should not be our mission to take over and impose who we are on the rest of the world, because we believe ourselves to be more civilized, more righteous, more knowledgeable, or more suited to people understanding that they are barbarians and we're civilized and we're moral. We need to get beyond that. We need to understand that everybody in the barnyard has value. And